Hello, everyone. Thank you for arriving early. We're really excited to have you here. We're going to wait a few more minutes for people to arrive. We don't want to share the results and having people arriving late and then feeling disappointed. So thanks again for arriving early. If you want, you can also in the chat change the chat icon to all panelists and attendees and let us know where you're from. And we might even try to, wherever location you're from, to try to mention it as we're talking about the key insights. There are 1,000 cities, so it might not be possible, but if you let us know where you're from, maybe what are you working on, that'll be super great, and we'll be able to maybe customize a little bit the part of the key findings. And basically it. We're going to start in about 3 or 4 minutes. So get some coffee and see you soon. Okay, so I see that we already have a few people sharing their location. I will try to remember them as we're talking about those locations. We have Albert from Catalonia in Spain. We have someone from TechLeap, which is great in Netherlands. We know TechLeap, a great ecosystem in Netherlands. And Izmir, Turkey, and Hamza is from Malaysia. That's great. We also have Korea, Germany, and Vilnius. Wow, that's a lot of location so I'm just briefing everyone that arrived now that if you please share your location in the chat, we will try to maybe also mention it in the key, in the part about the key insights. Once again, a disclaimer, there are 1,000 cities and 100 countries, so it's not necessarily easy to do, but we will do our best. Excellent. I think we can start. Why not? So this is a very exciting event for us, our annual event. This is where we're actually, let's say, launching our new report for 2021. This has been a crazy year for all of us, and it's really great to open a new chapter, get back to ecosystem development, get back to meeting each other, get back to building startups full speed in a more normal reality. I'm hoping this is going to be the case all over the world very soon as this weird year is disappearing, hopefully, and the pandemic is going to be over, going to be back to normal, working on our startup ecosystem full speed. And we felt like this is a great time to actually do the launch. Yeah, but before we start, I actually want to tell you one more thing. We've done a very interesting launch this time, and we're also launching a new website. So I want to give you 5 minutes or even less brief about, so let me tell you a little bit about the agenda for today. First of all, we're gonna introduce the new design. and show you what are the new functionalities and so on. Then we're going to do an introduction of the report. This will be done by the report editor, Ziv Baida. After that, I'm going to do a quick intro about the key insights. What are the main things that happened this year? Of course, to get the full version, you're going to have to download the report. And we're going to end the principal part of this meeting would be pitches by the ecosystem developers. As you know, we're all used to startup pitching their startups. This is great. And usually we don't see people from the public sector pitching their startup ecosystem. But the people that we have here today are very interesting and very, let's say, active. They're active. Most of them are from government agencies and from the public sector, and they're happy to quickly present and present their ecosystem, just like a startup pitches their startup. They will pitch their city. Hopefully, in the end, you will might consider relocating there. So that's the goal for today. Great. So basically, we're just going to start quickly about introducing the new website. So let me show you what we've got. So this is revolutionary for us. First of all, we actually have a new homepage for the first time ever since we started. And we're very, very proud about the new design and the new website. So as you can see over here, there is the homepage and with the regular things as there always been. This year, we also greatly upgraded the map. I'm going to show it to you in a minute. But if you want to consume the results, even without reading the 300 pages report that we prepared, one of the best ways to go below the map on startupblink.com. Over here, you have ranking tables that are showing the entire rankings. You can change by the number of rows that you see. You can change by countries, cities, and see the ranking for the country, see the ranking for the cities. This is all new design. Of course, you can also filter, you can sort by whatever you want to the table. You can have a look at the regions and be in a situation that if you're just interested in one region, you can have a look at only this region and so on and so on. And also, of course, filter by population. So there are many, many interesting things there jumping between the different tiers. So everything that you want, you can do here. Let's say, for example, that you're interested in seeing only cities in Germany, you can feed it here, and that's where you can see. So very interactive and easy to use ranking tables. So even those of you who don't have a patience to read long reports can consume the results very, very fast over here. Other than that, on the site itself, we also have a much more upgraded map. Wherever you click on the map, it will take you to an upgraded map, an upgraded design, the usual stuff with a few additions as well. So you can have a look at all the entities and also do some pretty interesting filtering over here. For example, if you want to see what are the global unicorns all over the world, or what are the exits or the Pantheon startups and so on. You can see all of it in one view, hopefully a much more upgraded view than before. Of course, all the other entities, co-working accelerators, leaders, and organizations are also here for you to view. I guess one of the biggest things that we've done this year is a new part of the map, which is, you can see it over here, it's the ecosystem dashboard. So you can pick the dashboard of your choice, and let's pick one randomly, let's say London, and you go to a different part of the page, which is a dashboard, an information dashboard about the specific country or city that you chose. You can go back to the map over here with this button, but the idea is that over here you can see each city and each country, the rankings across nationally, regionally, globally, what are the best verticals. Also, this is something new that we implemented this year. We don't only do rankings for the global rankings, for the general rankings, we also built a mechanism and algorithm per verticals, and you can see which city, in which verticals or industries your city is overperforming, and many other surprises. So feel free to get back to the site, just like we clicked London, so you can see all the rankings for the UK cities. And of course, I'm giving a spoiler alert over here. You can see a few interesting things on the national level and on the global level. So all of this is available for you to view on the new StartupBlink site, and we're hoping that people would enjoy it. If you have any feedback let us know. We worked on this for a long time. So we always want to improve it as well. Good. So that's a little bit about the site. Now we're going to switch to the report itself. Before I tell you about the key insights of the report, we're going to have our editor of the report, Ziv Baida, to give us a quick intro about what have we done? What is this report, let's say, about? What is a little bit the structure of the report? So Ziv, great to see you. Thank you for an amazing work that you've done. We couldn't have done it without you. And yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the report of 2021.
All right, thank you, Eli. So, and thank you to StartupBlink for inviting me to do this job. What have we done? Let me first say we've done a massive amount of work. We produced a report that, for me as a data savvy person, I'm really happy to say it's the most comprehensive report with very, very rich data about startup ecosystems worldwide. So if you are interested, whether you're a policymaker and you're interested in the bottom line, or whether you're a data person that wants to know the ins and outs, you will find what you want. And this is really the strength, I think, of the report and the underlying work under that report, which makes it suitable for a lot of different target groups, whether you are an ecosystem developer, whether you are an entrepreneur, whether you are an investor, you'll find there the insights that are interesting for you. So what's new in this year's report compared to last year's report? We added a few new sections, new elements, new analysis that we think the readers would really love. Starting with first one, notable startups. So when we describe the countries, for each country we provide 3 notable startups. So those are startups that we think we want to mention them, either because they achieved something great or because we think they do something really cool. It's not necessarily a promise of saying these startups will be those that make it, but it's us saying, pay attention to those guys and girls. Second one is the industry analysis. So like Eli mentioned, there is an industry analysis describing the rankings per industry. And it's really cool to see there how different cities and different countries that may rank high or low in the overall ranking, they rank differently in certain industries. So if you want to know where do I need to go if I'm interested in e-commerce, for example, or in food tech, we will tell you the answer. Next, we provide special recognition to a number of categories of ecosystems, and that's also really cool because it's hard to compete, let's say, with the US and the top group, but on certain aspects, other cities and countries, they really achieve good results. So, for example, we provide a list of cities in the top 1,000 cities that are part of countries that are unranked in the 100 list. So cities that perform well, but the countries haven't performed as an overall country, haven't performed well enough to get to the top 100 list. And that's where we see some very special cities that we think are worth your attention, even though the countries may not be ranked in the top of the world. Then there are the ecosystems with special entities, with the most special entities. So special entities make the ecosystems very strong. So we're talking about unicorns, about companies that have had an exit, about pantheons, and those really have a very strong power in the ecosystems because they attract a lot of attention, and therefore other companies come as well. So we provide the list of the ecosystems that have substantially more of those special entities than other ecosystems. And then very interesting is also the analysis of countries that have many ranked cities per capita. Because that reveals countries that even though they may be smaller in relation compared to other ones, then so in absolute terms, they may have lower results, but in relative terms, they really have good results. So worth looking at those as well. And then let me end with what may be my favorite in this report. So we have the regional analysis, which we had also last year, so it's not new. But I want to draw your attention there to the part that talks about comparing the momentum of different regions in the world. So Europe, North America, Asia Pacific, Africa, Middle East, and looking at the power shifts between them. So by looking at all the detailed data and then taking a helicopter view, we're able to do some analysis about power shifts between the regions in the world. And I think this is really interesting. So that's it. I hope you enjoy it. And once again, thank you, StartupBlink, for inviting me to do this job. It was brilliant. Back to you, Ali.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ziv. Great work. Excellent. So we're going now to speak a little bit about the key insight before we move to an interesting part, which is the ecosystem developers pitching their ecosystem, which is my favorite part. So yeah, let me share my screen with you and try to, I don't know how to do it exactly, to briefly share the results with you about so many ecosystems. We're talking about a lot of them. So hopefully I can cover a few of the most interesting ones. Good. So yeah, hopefully you can see the graph that I'm sharing now. So this is an interesting graph that is on page 19 of the report, and that shows you, first of all, what's going on in the top 20 countries. Needless to say, United States is still leading. Nobody has done let's say a switch there yet. And as you can see, also you can see the trends from 2019 to 2021. United Kingdom is second as well and stable as well. We do want to say one big shift that has happened in the top three is that Israel and United Kingdom are now very, very close in the rankings. Like super small margin. Until now, they always had a bigger margin. Israel might be in a position in the next report to actually take number 2. On the countries, we also take into account the population size. Number 4 and 5 also stay the same, although Canada, now number 4, went really far from both United Kingdom and Israel. Canada have a little bit of a gap there and is much, much more close now to Germany. The German startup ecosystem had great momentum, as you can see, since 2019. It has grown now to number 5, and it's also closing gaps with the other countries on top of it. Very interesting to see the German ecosystem. I know we have Norbert from Berlin. Berlin is the powerhouse of the ecosystem in Germany, but the real boost is actually arriving from other German cities that are also joining forces with Berlin to become very strong regional hubs. One of the biggest success stories of this report is Sweden. Sweden is now number 6 in the world. Absolutely amazing. It's the second EU country now ranked in the rankings. Great performance, great startups, and very good trend. Germany and Sweden are both the stars of the European ecosystem. That's or at least in the EU, let's say. Number 7 over here is probably the biggest jump that we've seen ever. You can see it's a crazy graph. Try to track this line just vertically flying up during the year. This is the Chinese startup ecosystem at number 7. Take into account, this is a ranking that is built on population, takes into account 1.4 billion people. Being number 7 with this amount of population is absolutely astonishing. We're going to see what happened also on the cities. Number 8, we've got Switzerland. Switzerland is just like, you understand why they make Swiss clocks in Switzerland? Look, this is like a perfect graph of no change, total stability. This country simply does not leave the top 10. It's such a strong technological country. You see so many shifts all over the place. Switzerland is super stable. And number 9 is Australia, still keeping its rank in the top 10. However, you can see over here, there is a decrease across the years. It was number 5, then number 7, now number 9. One of the fastest growing ecosystems is Singapore. Singapore is growing very, very fast. It's becoming a regional leader and is now ranked at number 10. Relatively, let's say, negative momentum. I know that we have our friends from TechLeap here. Unfortunately, we see negative momentum in the Netherlands. Yeah, it's kind of like it's still a very high ranked country, but considering the jumps from the other countries like Singapore and China, it's hard to keep track. And so we did see a decline in Netherlands, stability in France, considering that so many ecosystems went up to keep number 12 is really great. I know we have friends from the Baltics. The first representatives in the Baltic is Estonia at number 13, a great ecosystem maintaining stability, less than 2 million people, by the way, which makes it even more outstanding that they're in the top 20 globally. Another great ecosystem in the region, Finland at number 14. You see the dominance of Baltic and Nordic countries over here. And we have relatively bad news from Spain. We see a decrease. So Spain used to be number 9 in the last report, now at number 15. Many ecosystems, but we're going to talk a little bit later maybe about what happened to Madrid and Barcelona. If we have time, both of them have decreased substantially. Lithuania in the Baltics is also in the very respectable location of number 16. Once again, those small countries also have an advantage on the country ranking because they're judged per capita on a much lower population. Russia, relatively stable at number 17. I know that we have friends from Moscow here. Then Ireland at number 18, South Korea at 19, and India is back to the top 20. This is really good news. Last year it left the top 20. This year it's back, which is great. Quickly gonna jump for a second for the cities ranking. No surprises over here on who is the first, San Francisco. However, there are some alarming news. In 2019, the total score of San Francisco was 5 times higher than any other city. In 2020, it became 4 times higher than the cities below it, New York. In 2021, it's 3 times higher. The trend is very clear. It's going to take a lot of time until San Francisco is not number 1, but weird things are happening there. Relatively negative things are happening in San Francisco now. They're simply losing their edge. They're still massively dominant of the startup ecosystem, of the global startup ecosystem, but the gaps are closing. Very interesting. New York, super stable at number 2. One of the biggest winners, Beijing at number 3. It became such a strong global hub, Beijing. And again, you can see the graph. It's absolutely amazing. Considering this is all done on a domestic ecosystem that is relatively disconnected from the world and build it in entire strength on its own local market. For us, it's a little bit sad because we prefer to see global ecosystems that are connected and not necessarily closed gardens. But this model has some success to a certain level. Then we have Los Angeles, a city that not a lot of people know that is super successful, and Los Angeles is doing absolutely great. London at number 5 decreased for the first time. It used to be number 3 in all our rankings, now at number 5. Brexit had to have some kind of an impact at some point, but it's just not just Brexit, it's also the increase of the Chinese cities. Boston is relatively stable. Shanghai is also growing very fast. Tel Aviv decreased a little bit. Moscow, very stable at number 9. And then Bangalore is at number 10, which is absolutely great, and an Indian ecosystem that is finally, let's say, doing great things. Let's say, other than that, we've got some mentions. I do want to say the cities that are ranked between 9 to 14 have razor sharp margins. So all the cities that you see from 9 to 14 are so close to each other that it's absolutely one startup or one unicorn and so on, and they would have flipped. The big margins are happening more than anything in the top 7. Those are the ecosystems that really built a lot of strength. After the Tel Aviv is relatively in between 7 and 9, and then 9 to 14, all of them are really packed together. Some interesting insights other than that would be a big increase in Washington, D.C. and also Sao Paulo decreasing a little bit, but maintaining itself in the rankings as well. Then again, there are 1,000 cities and 100 countries, so you have a very, very long report to go over all of those. I think that there are a lot more other insights out there. I will say the following on a few questions that we had from people from the locations that were here. Catalonia in Spain, we've seen a decrease in both Barcelona and Madrid. That's a problem for the Spanish ecosystem. And we're hoping that the two top cities that are still in the top 50 are going to be, let's say, doing a recovery soon, although we see other Spanish cities that are doing great. Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, has increased by 8 spots, those rankings. Good things are happening there. Still relatively far, if I'm not mistaken, ranked around 40, but good results and good momentum. Turkey, relatively good momentum as well. So positive momentum in Turkey, and it's great to see that the Turkish ecosystem is a little bit back on track. Korea, the big news is that we have, if I'm not mistaken, 5 new cities that are ranked. Last year we had only Seoul. This year there are five other new cities that have joined the rankings. Absolutely great to see that you have more and more cities joining your ecosystem. If I'm not mistaken, there was also Sri Lanka that went up, if I'm not mistaken, and Taiwan. Taiwan is one of the most extraordinary ecosystems that we know. Taiwan had good momentum also for Taipei and also for Taiwan, the country itself. Great news from Taiwan. We have 4 new cities in the Taiwanese ecosystem. Last year we had only Taipei. This year, just like in Korea, we see more and more cities joining the game. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to say that in the top 10, as we mentioned, you have some ecosystems that are relatively domestic, but very powerful. Beijing, Shanghai, Bangalore, and Moscow. The top ranked city, by the way, now in the EU is Paris, outside of the top 10, but still a very strong ecosystem. And as we mentioned, Sweden, Stockholm, they're also all very much increasing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I think that there is so much more to go over. And in order to do that, you can visit, let me actually type the link for you, report.startupblink.com, and you can download the report. And yeah, there are so many let's say things there that we can't cover in this session, unfortunately. And yeah, now to our part of celebrating ecosystems. This is a really interesting part. Once again, I really like this part because we always expect our startups to pitch, and finally we have cities and the public sector to pitch and convince us to arrive to their startup ecosystem. Those are going to be very, very short pitches. We're limited by time, and that's difficult because usually everyone who is doing a pitch about their city takes a lot more time. Those are going to be restricted to 5 minutes. So we wish you good luck. And once again, I want to show our appreciation to all our partners. A lot of them are here today pitching their ecosystem and just setting an example of how the public sector should be active, should be there, just like a startup, promoting their ecosystem, building their ecosystem. It's absolutely great to see. And yeah, I'll pass it to Catherine, our partnership and product manager, to maybe start bringing people on stage and have them pitch their startup ecosystem and share it with us.
Hey, hello, everyone. Hi, Ali. Thank you for that. Ali and Ziv, thank you for the great introduction to our report. Hello, everyone. So for those that are just joining us, as Ellie mentioned, today we will also be traveling around the world and meeting ecosystem developers and getting to know ecosystems from all over the world in Asia and in Europe. So for our first ecosystem that we will be visiting today is Taiwan. we will be hearing from Gary Chang, which is the project manager of the partnerships team at TTA, Taiwan Tech Arena. For this year, Taiwan is having a really amazing year. So they've increased and are now ranked 26 globally. And they also have 4 new cities in addition to Taipei City, which was already ranked last year. Aside from that, everyone can also download can see the case study of Taipei City in our report as well. So hi, Gary. Good morning.
Hi, Katrine. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good fine, afternoon. Yes, can you do me a favor to just also invite my colleague Yo to the conversation, because she's gonna do me the favor to upload the PPT.
Okay, great. So Josh, could you promote Yo as well, please? Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Finally, yeah.
Hi, you.
Hi.
Congratulations on the launch. And Ellie, thank you for the introduction.
Thank you, Ellie.
And the wonderful website.
So it's Gary, yes, it's such a great encouragement to see that the Taiwan and also Taipei has such a big improvements from to this year. So hi everyone, my name is Gary, and I'm the partnership team from the TTA, and thank you for having me today. So let me just do a brief and quick introduction about TTA, and Yo will help me to do the slides. So TTA, So TTA actually established in June the 5th, 2018. So we are the 3 years old startup program supported by the Ministry of Science and Technologies. And we have a co-working spaces providing 3,000 square meter and for our local partners and startup in Central Taipei. And our goal is to build the vibrant international startup ecosystem in Taiwan. And we regard TTA as the launching pad for the global startup and also the culture fusion hub for the international startup. And most importantly, we want to be the voice of Taiwan in order to build the international partnership with our international partner. Next. So in terms of collaboration approaches, we closely work with our local international accelerator to focus on the technologies such as AI, software, and semiconductor. But we also focusing on the other verticals such as biotech, restaurant or the food technologies. And annually, we support more than 250 local and international startups through our accelerator partners. And we have marketing team to assist our startups to conduct marketing campaign, exhibition, and media exposures. And last but not least, we also connect startups with the local and international cooperation and the venture capitals to seek potential and investments. Next, please. So we have a variety of accelerator partner locally and internationally. In terms of the international accelerator partners, we have internationally renowned 500 startups, and SOSV MOX, Spar Labs, and CTA from Canada, and French Tech Taiwan from France. But we also have a local accelerator focuses on the biotech, restaurant tech, and the consumer electronics, such as B Accelerator, Fly Invest, and Foodland, and IIPS. And we also have, TTA also has a team working in Silicon Valley to assist Taiwanese startups who might need help finding mentors and potential investments. Next. Internationally, TTA and our accelerator partners have been working with more than 171 global startups, majority from the US, Singapore, and India. And we are deeply connected with 38 startup supported organizations worldwide. Next, please. And here are the international events that we participate annually, such as Innovex Taipei, CES in Las Vegas, and NWC in Barcelona, and Viva Tech by encouraging our startups to overseas events and also participated virtually during the pandemic. So those are the events that we normally would participate in all year round. Next. So we provided a variety of services to our corporate partners by co-hosting corporate innovation events, resource engagement potlucks, startup challenges, pitch, match, and also investor salon, and conducting customer matchmaking for our corporate members. So as you can see here, we have around more than 40 plus renowned cooperative members inside Taiwan and also globally as well. Next. So since we have a very spacious and beautiful co-working space, as you can see on the images inside TTA, and basically we host almost 370 events annually, including training courses, forum, breakfast meetup, and fireside chat. So we look forward to working with you and hear your feedback in the near future. And thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Gary. Thank you, Yo. So for everyone who's interested in Taiwan ecosystem, you can see their information on the slide, and also Yo, Gary, if you can put it on the chat as well, so people are able to see this too. Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem.
Thank you.
We'll leave our email in the chat box. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you, Yo. Thank you, Gary.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Great. So the next ecosystem that we will be visiting, we're going to stay in Asia. We will go to the Kyoto ecosystem, and it will be presented by Joseph Kyoda, who is the concierge for Startup Visa at Jetro Kyoto. So Kyoto this year also had a great year. They're 124th globally, and now they're the second ecosystem in Japan. The verticals that Kyoto is excelling in on our report is the health tech industry, wherein they rank 14. Similar to Taipei City, Kyoto will also have a case study on our report. So check that out as well. So hi, Joseph, how are you? I think you're on mute, Joseph.
Hello, Katrine. Thank you for this opportunity.
Joseph. No worries. Yes. So your 5 minutes starts. My colleague Joshua will show you the timer on the screen as well.
Sounds great. So hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Kyoda. I work for Jetro Kyoto, and I am concierge for Startup Visa. So you may know Kyoto is, of course, located in Japan. So today I will introduce about unique ecosystem in Kyoto and the Startup Visa program, which is totally new system and really benefits for overseas entrepreneurs. So Startup Visa will play a key role to build attractive ecosystem in Kyoto. So let me explain what the ecosystem in Kyoto meaning. So they have several unique points. So as you can see on the slides, especially Kyoto has the great spirit to pursue their own ideas and researches. Kyoto offers a truly extensive range of studies from cutting-edge research that have been awarded Nobel Prizes to animation and then studies. And we have about 50 universities, and 1 out of 10 people in the Kyoto city area is actually a university student. So these figures just prove how Kyoto is the ideal place for the innovation. And also each university has various startup incubation programs as well. And also Kyoto has Kyoto is a city where leading Japanese high-tech companies gather. And you may know Nintendo. So actually, of course, you may know, and they used to make a traditional Japanese card game, and they really struggle to create a new entertainment. But they are famous now because they create computer games. So, and it would be really great opportunities for startups to collaborate with these mega corporates as well. Now, as you can see in these slides, we have various ecosystem program in Kyoto as well, and it is very developing. Yes. And this is the difference. Kyoto already has the acceleration program that recognized globally. And as I explained, Kyoto is developing their own unique ecosystem. So we must include and connect overseas players in here to make better cycle. That what we are thinking. And multiple cities are already started this program as well. So actually, here is the major issue when overseas people considered starting a business in Japan. Previously, you had to apply to management visa to start your business, which means either you invest 5 million yen or you have to hire at least 2 people. That was the condition to get visa for starting a business before. It was too high a hurdle. That's why the startup visa was introduced by Japan. And here is the main industry that what Kyoto focusing. And also we have business support and subsidy program as well. And here the 2020 achievement. So like we had over 100 inquiries, and the KK and the GK is incorporated. And also we've created a Slack community, so anyone can communicate on there with another languages, because we connect to the DeepL software on there. And also I'd like to introduce some of the startup happened in Kyoto by overseas people. So actually Notion is a worldwide software service, but they're US-based startup and now became unicorn. But they have famous story which shared on their website that they developed their product in Kyoto at their early stage while staying at Kyoto for almost 2 years. And they really love Kyoto. And there are more and more startups started by overseas entrepreneurs in Kyoto. And we expect more innovations happen in Kyoto like this, with lower the startup hurdles by providing this startup visa. Startup visa is totally new system, so we would like to let overseas people know about this. We want them to use it more, and please spread out this information to your community if you could. So thank you.
Yes, thank you, Joseph. I see that Naofumi-san also included the information of Jetro Kyoto. So if anyone from our audience is interested to get to know about the ecosystem, please visit that link. And also, as I mentioned, Kyoto will have its own case study on our report, so feel free to read that as well. So thank you again, Joseph, for joining us again for this pitching. Thank you. So so after Kyoto, we're now traveling to Mongolia, wherein we will hear from Yurbold Bayara about the Mongolian startup ecosystem. Yurbold is the head of Industrial Development and Innovation Department at the Ulaanbaatar municipality. So for this year, Ulaanbaatar is in the top 500, and their most impressive vertical is in the education technology. Yes. Hi, Yurbold. Hello, can you hear us? Hi, Yurbold. I think you're on mute.
Hello?
Yes. Hi, Yurbold. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm great.
For the report and for the new website.
Thank you. Yeah, so we're excited to hear more about the ecosystem. So my colleague Josh again will show the timer for 5 minutes.
Okay. Can you see my share screen?
Yes, we can see it, but if you can put it full screen and also increase the volume. Thank you.
So my name is Urbold. I'm the head of the innovation division of the Science, Industry and Innovation Department of the capital city of Mongolia, of capital city of Ulaanbaatar, which is the capital city of Mongolia. So Ulaanbaatar city is the capital city of Mongolia, which almost half of the national population lives here, and around 1.4 million inhabitants, and the city makes around 65% of national GDP. Also, we can say that Ulaanbaatar city is a social and economic center of the country. Over the 80% of all business activities, especially entrepreneurs and startups, universities located in the main Ulaanbaatar city. So Ulaanbaatar city administration established Ulaanbaatar Innovation Center in 2018 in order to promote startup, promote innovation and produce solutions to the city's problems through innovative ideas and high technology. So unfortunately, boost the innovation ecosystem for the city. So all the stakeholders are entrepreneurs, government coordinators, university, private sectors, venture capitals, community, and media. So Hub Innovation Center provides co-working, incubator, and prototype lab, and events, various events for entrepreneurs and innovation activities. So we provide 3,000 square meter space. With we have around 13 partners. We also provide single and private rooms, incubator rooms. We also have special mentoring rooms. We also have a co-working space with the capacity around 200 of individuals. Organize around 75 events.
You're bold. I'm sorry. I think your internet got a bit cut off, so we couldn't hear you for this slide. Hi, Bold. We can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. Now I'd like to share about some ecosystem highlights. So we have around 5 co-working spaces currently working in the city. Unfortunately, due to COVID spread, 3 to 4 co-working spaces closed their doors. This is really unfortunate. And we have an international startup pitching event, Seed Stars and Startup World Cup. Also, we have 3 accelerators: Foundry Institute, Kite Mongolia, and Mongolian Japan Accelerator Program, which is initiated this year. Official incubator programs we provide Information Technology Park and Hub Innovation Center provides incubator programs. And we have one startup studio, which is Socrates. Also, our ecosystem organizes various inspirational educational events, such as Startup Weekend. Also, Startup Mongolia organizes their branding events. Start company also is inspirational and educational company of entrepreneurs, and Airbnb and Startup Marketing Spaces is one of them. Lastly, I would like to highlight about the Startup World Cup competition. So this competition is the largest and leading global annual startup competition. And first time Exponential Partners brought Startup World Cup Mongolia to this year. And Chimica Systems became a regional winner of this event. Chimica is a first technology for the automatic speech recognition and natural voice synthesis for the low resource languages, such as Mongol, Kyrgyz, and Kazakh. And Chimica will get to compete with 60 other country winners in Silicon Valley this November, which is really good for our ecosystem. And second place was a Tab Solution. Tab Solution is a human resource tech startup working company, works towards DX of immigration and global human resource. Thirdly, Erxes is a third place winner. Erxes is an open fair code licensed all-in-one growth marketing and management software. They offer all-in-one solution for sales, marketing, and customer service teams with a focus on the entire customer service. So last year we worked with the StartupBlink, and very first time Mongolia and Ulaanbaatar city landed in startup ecosystem rankings. And this year we had a really good positive momentum. Our country jumped 5 spots, and Ulaanbaatar city surprisingly jumped around like 200 spots forward, and landed this year. Our country landed in 88th place, and Ulaanbaatar city landed in 491st place, which we see a really positive momentum for us. And I would like to express my gratitude to StartupBlink's team, and we look forward our cooperation. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Yerbo. Thank you for sharing Ulaanbaatar to us. Could you also leave your information on the chat? So if anyone wants to reach out and to know more about the ecosystem, they can also do so. Thank you, Yerbo.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, so after Mongolia, we're now traveling to Turkey. We will be hearing from İpek, who is from the Izmir Development Agency. So Izmir this year is ranked in the top 400. They're 4th nationally, and their most overperforming vertical is in the transportation technology industry. Yes, so Josh, if you can promote İpek, please, so she can join. Great, thank you.
Hi, unfortunately, I can't find Ipek. Ipek, could you raise your hand if you're in the attendees?
Thank you, Ipek.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Hi, Ipek. Good morning.
Hello, Catherine.
Hi. Yeah, so we're excited to hear about the Izmir startup ecosystem. My colleague Josh will again show the timer for 5 minutes, and excited to hear that.
Okay, thank you. Now, thank you for the introduction, Catherine. Hello, everyone from the beautiful city of Izmir. First of all, I would like to express how delighted and proud we are to be the new member of this global event. I'll start with introducing my institution, Izmir Development Agency. Then we'll take a brief look at the city of Izmir. Finally, we'll review our ecosystem platform, Start in Izmir. Izmir Development Agency is a public institution founded in 2006 with the major aim of diminishing regional, social, and economic disparities. Our institution develops regional development plans and strategies, provides financial support mechanisms, and fosters collaboration and coordination among regional stakeholders. We focus on sustainable development of Izmir based on blue growth and green growth strategies. Our innovation and entrepreneurship agenda is also pivoted on these areas. Now let's take a quick look at Izmir. At the junction of Europe and Asia, Izmir is the western gate of Turkey. Being a historical trade center, Izmir has a rich economic diversity and commercial culture. It's one of the most developed and productive cities, regions in Izmir, generating almost 6% of the Turkish GDP. With its strong economy, human resources, investment infrastructure, Izmir offers ideal conditions for startups. Also, as a Mediterranean city, Izmir is a center of attraction with its high-quality lifestyle and multicultural background. Izmir has a well-developed industrial base encompassing a wide range of technologies from traditional to high-tech. Finally, let's take a look at our ecosystem platform. It's a relatively new established website. Start in Izmir is a platform where startups and innovative technology firms can register for free. Our platform's purpose is to develop the startup ecosystem in Izmir, as well as to increase its international recognition. Therefore, StartupBlink is a great medium for promotion of Izmir startup ecosystem. We are delighted to be a part of it. Thank you for your time and attention.
Yes, thank you, Ipek. It's great to hear about the Izmir startup ecosystem. Like with the previous presenters, please leave your information on the chat. So if anyone is interested, they can connect with you and get to know more about the ecosystem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so we're staying in Asia for now, and our next presenter will be Yeah, our next presenter will be from Fukuoka, Japan. So Fukuoka is ranked 240th in the world, and nationally it's fourth. Its most impressive vertical is in the transportation technology vertical. For this presentation, we will be hearing from Ms. Akiko Nakagawa, who is from the Fukuoka City Global Startup Center, Fukuoka City Hall. Okay. Hi, Ms. Akiko.
Hi, Catherine. Thank you for the introduction of us.
Yes, thank you. So we're excited to hear more about Fukuoka City. So my colleague Josh will again start the timer for 5 minutes. Looking forward to hearing.
Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate this opportunity to introduce our city. Fukuoka City might not be so familiar with you, so let me start with the brief explanation about our city. Fukuoka is located in the southern island called Kyushu Island. It's known as the fastest growing startup hub in Japan. We are currently selected by the Japanese government as one of the candidate cities for competing to become Japan's next international finance center. So fintech startups are very welcome. Fukuoka City was chosen as the national strategic zone for global startup and job creation in 2014. And we have been developing our startup ecosystem. We have built a cooperation with overseas as well. We signed MOU with 15 institutions in 11 regions to provide mutual support for startups. Speaking of the location, Fukuoka is very close to Asian countries. So Fukuoka can be the gateway for not only Japanese market, but also neighbor Asian countries, as you can see. Our population is 1.6 million, and the number of the foreign residents increased double past 14 years. Even though the population in Japan is decreasing, our population is growing. Our advantage location, compactness, convenience, and global startup center. The location, as I mentioned already, and the compactness compared to the big city like Tokyo or Osaka, it's not crowded, less competitive, cheaper living cost, and a stronger community. Once you get into that community, it's easier to make the networks. Also, we have very short access time to the airport from the city center, which is just 10 minutes. The community is compact. The city itself is compact as well. Environmentally, we are surrounded by mountains, beaches, so you can enjoy the great nature, but it's still convenient. And the last point is Global Startup Center. We are the contact window and the executive unit for foreign startups and entrepreneurs. Our motto is a part of your team. Once you contact us, we are your first team member in Japan. We work with you, we execute projects together. Even more, we sometimes do tasks on behalf of you. Our services are very wide range and available at any stage of your business. Today, I just want to emphasize 2 points. Startup visa and our special business matching. About the startup visa, the Kyoto City already introduced, but it is the 6 months to 1 year residence permit to settle down to prepare for the starting your business before you invest. Startup visa will be issued once Fukuoka City approves your business plan as an innovative business and confirm the feasibility of your business plan. Even under this COVID situation, we get inquiry about startup visa all over the world. And the business matching, what I would like to emphasize in our business matching, we have strong and broad network. We can lend very specific business matching, not just introducing each other. And this business matching service is available for any startups, which means even if you're not in Japan, without having a company here in Japan, moreover, without coming to Japan, we are happy to offer our networks for you to find your potential partner. Here are some examples. Let me pick some cases. The first one, the last year we initiated an NDA between Israel agri-tech startup and the Japanese agri-tech company in Tokyo. Not only just arranging the meeting, we communicated both parties fluently and supported the communication, then initiated to sign NDA for the first step for their collaboration. We connect with companies not only in Fukuoka, but also outside of Fukuoka if we find any synergy. Another one is finding the pilot project partner. We connected an Estonian edtech startup with one of the biggest educational group in Japan. Estonian startup was looking for some schools to do pilot project. However, we proposed them a realistic plan to start with the educational group, one educational group. At first, on behalf of them, the startup, we had a meeting with the educational group to explain the efficiency of the services. Then we set up the meeting so that it made it easier for them to proceed the discussion, and they could reach agreement in 2 months. We have so many cases that I would like to share with, but because of the time, I should stop here. And Fukuoka is a place you can start easy and fast. So if you're interested in expanding your business in Japan, why don't you start with us? Try with Fukuoka City. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for that great introduction to Fukuoka, Ms. Akiko. If you could, as always, leave your information on the chat so everyone can reach out for more information as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, so our next presenter our next ecosystem is Eilat, Israel. We will be hearing from Or Haviv, who is the CEO of Eilat Hub and a partner at Ariely Capital. So Eilat this year is in the top 500, and its most impressive vertical is in the social and leisure technology. So if Josh, are you having troubles finding Or?
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see Or's name.
Or if you could raise your hand so we can promote you as a panelist. Great. Hi, Or. Hi, Or. Good morning.
Hi, everyone. How are you, Catherine and everyone?
Yes, we're great. We're very excited to hear more about the Eilat startup ecosystem. So
wonderful. Let me see if I can share the presentation.
Yes. So so like always, we have 5 minutes, and my colleague Josh here will show the timer. So very excited to hear more about the ecosystem.
Wonderful. So hello, everyone. I will, with your permission, share my screen. Okay. Just let me know if you can see it okay. All right. So my name is Or. I am a partner and head of global ventures in Ariely Capital, which is a New York-based ecosystem and investment group. We could talk about it later. Anybody who's interested to learn more about us, obviously can check our website. And I'll be happy to explain how we're working with governments, municipalities, leading brands to build ecosystems and platforms to grow companies. This case is about Eilat Tech Center Hub, which is super, super exciting because it's the classic story of taking a city, which is a periphery city. If anybody here knows Israel, it's the most southern tip of the Israeli map, right on the border of the beautiful Red Sea Bay, bordering 4 countries, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt. So it's a beautiful bay, an international tourist destination, but never it was an ecosystem or innovation ecosystem before the Eilat Hub came in. So our main goal, in partnership with Ariely and Tech Center on the private side and the municipality on the other side, is to build the ecosystem for the first time, innovation ecosystem and startup ecosystem for the region. The main verticals for the ecosystem are based on the main assets of the region. But before we get to the verticals, I want to share with you really the the location. It's all about the location of Eilat. So Eilat is really a land bridge connecting Eastern countries and Western countries. It is an old days route of commerce. One of the world's most beautiful bays, named by the New York Times. It's the 4th largest regional council in Israel, roughly 25,000 acres. It has the largest concentration of Israel's leading ocean and sea research institutes. Actually, we just recently launched the very first ocean technology innovation community. You can go on LinkedIn and search for Ocean Tech Community and join our community. We had a beautiful first event, over 350 participants from around the world. And our upcoming event in the end of this month is going to focus on the future of food from the sea. There's a lot of research that has to do with sea and oceans here. It's also a tax-free zone. And in very important part for an ecosystem, international seaport and international airport. Let's talk about the verticals. Based on these verticals in which we have assets for each one of them, we built an ecosystem and dedicated programs for innovation. Travel technology, we have the largest concentration of hotel rooms in Israel in one place. Agriculture technology, desert technology, marine biology and aquaculture, sea tech, shipping and trade, energy, and smart cities. An example, a quick overview of several of our programs. One is Ben Gurion University. We're one of the top universities in the country. We ran accelerators of them, innovation programs. We had the biotechnology and bioconvergence programs, fashion technology, international programs that we bring here to Eilat to grow the company, such as a program we ran with Italy, with the government and the Intesa San Paolo Bank. On board, our travel technology program is super successful, running for 3 years, and a lot of our graduates have done amazing things, including raising capital and even being acquired. This is our Ocean Tech Innovation Community. As I said, the upcoming event on the 23rd is going to focus about the future of food from the sea. I invite everyone here to join. It's going to be a beautiful event. This is a short snapshot of our program, international programs. The one with Italy was very, very successful. Graduates going into clinical trials and applying their technology. This is our travel tech program that we run with leading organizations such as Facebook, Amadeus, Booking, and more. Basically, I would say the secret of our ecosystem is really our holistic approach. We are very, very focused on connection with the community and not just growing companies, especially in a city that had 0 startups when we came in. Today is in global rankings, as you know, and is really growing very, very fast compared to being a outskirts city in the periphery of Israel. So it's doing very well, over 350 organization that came in. And one of the things that's very, very important, because I know my time is limited, when you build an ecosystem, it's very important to get to the goal. And as of 2020, we got the official document from the Israeli government that approves that the Eilat Hub model is not only a success, but the Israeli government recommended to the Eilat municipality that based on the Eilat Hub activity, there is now a feasibility, okay, for building the next level of the ecosystem, which is a full-scale high-tech building with fundings from the government. And that, after short 3.5 years of activity, to get an official document like that from the government that approves the success, the ecosystem, and funds the next level is a huge, huge thing for building the ecosystem. It's going to allow us to start bringing companies, I call it from startup to scale up, just like the Israel Innovation Authority uses this model. So the Eilat ecosystem is going from startup to scale up, and now we're starting to bring in companies, growth stage companies to Eilat, which obviously produce diversification of jobs and a lot of different things. So I know that in the short time that we have here, I cannot cover the full story, but I can tell you it's the beautiful story of a community. And thanks to the beautiful people also here from StartupBlink, who are part of our amazing ecosystem story. It's thanks to people and it's thanks to our partners that we were able to reach such a huge global success, an international community, programs, companies that grow, raise capital, close deals, etc. So with that being said, and in the short time that I have, I really want to invite everyone here that are on this Zoom meeting to contact us and do a follow-up, learn more, collaborate. We love collaborations, we love partnerships. That's the base of a successful ecosystem. The more collaboration you have, the stronger you are. So please contact us. We'll be happy to talk and work together and grow our and your ecosystem. So thank you, Katrin. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Or. It's always amazing to hear about the success of the Eilat startup ecosystem. So if you or Ella could just leave the information on the chat so anyone can reach out to you as well. Yeah, so also for everyone's information, we also have an Eilat case study in the report. So if you want to get to know more about the Eilat ecosystem, you could also head there and read about this growing hub.
Wonderful. We'll share the contact information right now in the chat.
Thank you. Yes. So yeah, so now we're moving on.
Hello everyone. Hello, thanks for the nice presentation of Eilat. Congratulations to our dearest StartupBlink with the launch of the ranking and the forthcoming report. We see from the ranking that we face a really tough competition especially from the Asian cities. We were on the edge of top 10 with the Bangalore, and also Paris and Berlin are quite close. So it's good and bad. It's good that the competition is becoming more tough, and more Asian cities are joining the elite of startup ecosystems, but we also are happy to keep our place, and especially we are delighted to be number 2 in Europe, just after London, and we are just 2 European cities in the top 10, which is a really, really great success for Russia. What is my message to my dearest friends around the world who are listening to our presentation is that, well, in Moscow, we are concentrating on showing our objective position based on real things. And despite some prejudice and often also negative media coverage that you might encounter from the results of StartupBlink, as well as in many other databases and rankings, you can see that Moscow is one of the leading innovation ecosystem, and that the conditions for startups are really, really good in Russia. And what you see in terms of tech, what you see in terms of innovation, in terms of legislation, everything is quite favoring the development of a really flourishing ecosystem. So what would be my advice? And I would say Moscow is like in the European top elite, in the world elite in terms of ecosystem. And when you are considering it as a choice, please be based on the objective sources of information like StartupBlinks, like other databases, like rankings with the really important and serious methodology, and not on prejudice that sometimes comes from ill-informed journalists and experts. So I invite everyone to consider Moscow as one of the options for the business development at first place. And I would like to tell you some things about one of the easiest way to get to know our ecosystem, which is the Moscow Acceleration Program. Let me show the desktop. Okay. Do you see the presentation? I hope so.
We see it.
Oh, okay. So this is the Moscow Accelerator, and it connects 3 pillars. We actually copied it from various Israeli examples of successful collaboration of 3 sides: the city or the government, the corporations, and the startups. These are important pillars when you see the city as someone who guarantees and organizes a program, who guarantees that the solutions, for example, in smart city, would be procured and would get all interest from the departments. Then the corporations, they can include the startups into their ecosystems that could invest in them, and the startups themselves, of course, the natural client for the accelerator. So basically, city usually doesn't work too good with the startups. The bigger the city is, and Moscow is a really huge city, the more difficult for it is to work with the startups directly. So we have these intermediary like corporations who can include the startups into the ecosystems and could, let's say, explain and help to work directly with the city, which is in the mutual interest. This is open for all participants. We have thousands of requests, and we have tracks. So we have reliable partners, cost saving, single ecosystem, and piloting projects opportunity. So let's see the results. We had the 9 thematic tracks and 4,000 applications and more to the 200 participants for just in 1.5 years. And we have conducted already such tracks as like digital services, biomedtech, fintech, martech, buildtech. So I'm sharing the link on the accelerator in the chat. And I would like, or you can Google it, Moscow Accelerator. And I invite you all startups from your ecosystems to consider the application, because it's a nice opportunity to get to know Moscow, to get to know the opportunities for your business over here. It's not necessarily that your startups needs to move to Moscow, but if you participate in the accelerator, you can be, Moscow's business could be a part. And if you're in Moscow, you're in Russia. If you're in Russia, and you are in the Eurasian region as a whole, with more than 300 million consumers. So welcome to Moscow. As soon as the coronavirus pandemic finishes, I will be happy to see you in all our important and interesting forums. And I invite you to consider the objective positions, the objective information, and I invite you to visit it by person, because one who has been to Moscow on the World Championship or in various innovation forums can acknowledge that their perception has changed. It means that their perception wasn't the correct one. So if you're thinking of Moscow, think it's a city comparable in terms of development and the ecosystem to such cities like New York or London. It's even superior to such cities like Paris and Berlin in many ways. So see it like that, and build your interest and build your knowledge of what we have here to offer. And this will be a huge opportunity for you to develop your business in a large and important part of the world. And one of the main tools to do that is to apply to Moscow Accelerator. Thanks a lot, and welcome to Moscow. And thank you, StartupBlink, for your objectiveness and for the highest quality of work. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kirill. It's always great to hear more about the Moscow startup ecosystem. So if you can leave maybe a link about the accelerator program so everyone can apply and also know more about it. And also for everyone's information, we also have a Moscow case study and the report. So you'll get to know about Moscow and the incentives in the city as well. Okay. Always great to hear you.
Thank you.
See you, Kirill. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so our next ecosystem is Zurich, Switzerland. We will be hearing from Nicola and Matthias from Digital Switzerland. So for this year, Zurich is 14th regionally, and its strongest vertical is hardware and IoT. Hi, Nicola.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great. How are you? Good
Excellent.
Morning.
Matthias is not there because he's at Vivatech in Paris at the big conference.
Yes.
Since he was in there, I will do it alone. No big deal.
Okay. Yes. Great. Yeah. So, yeah, we're excited to hear about Switzerland. Yeah. So Josh will start the timer now for 5 minutes.
Excellent. So I'm, by the way, in the call since half an hour. It's quite amazing to see everything, guys. Congrats to everyone. And it's a really wonderful world tour to see really all this presentation. So Switzerland and Zurich, as you all know, and this is always what we say in the country, we have only three things in Switzerland and in Zurich. We have our mountains, we have a nice infrastructure, and we have our brains. We don't have more than that, guys. No community, nothing. So we should rather really invest in our brains and in the startup ecosystem. This is all we do since a long time and what we try really to do. As you can see, some rankings more based, fair enough, in Switzerland and not Zurich. Zurich as a city is too small to appear on big rankings. Here, by the way, excellent, we improve at the position 57, if I'm not wrong, at the worldwide ranking, and 14 in Europe, so clearly behind Moscow, but we're so tiny beside Moscow. Switzerland as a country in your ranking, thank you very much. Number 8 worldwide is amazing for us. And as you can see here, some of the rankings, we have very good positions when it's about innovation and entrepreneurship worldwide. Why that? One reason, and maybe only one, there are some of them, our universities and tech universities. We have 6 of the top 150 universities, and more importantly, 2 of the top 15. The ETH in Zurich, the first one outside of the US, with the one in London, and EPFN in Lausanne, who is number 14 worldwide, and both together, they build a huge tech and deep tech ecosystem in the country. So it's, at the end of the day, guys, let's face it, it's a war for talents. Right now, in the phase where we are, where everything got even more quicker, digitized and technologized, it's a huge war for talent. And it needs the right political conditions. It needs, of course, stability. We can offer that. And very important, a huge pool of talents. The startups, the companies, they will go where the talents are. Of course, we've learned to work remote, so that's clear, but still, I believe remote companies in different hubs, there is not a single company in only one city. They are all over the world, but they still, I believe, need to build hubs, where people can meet. Just having Zoom is not so fun, let's face it. And the hubs, they will be where the talents are, clearly, or will migrate, that's clear, but mainly where they are. So that's really what we do with universities. More importantly, on the capital raised, and at Zurich is about half of it, a bit less. So we have a stable, growing market in Switzerland, 2 billion. With these numbers, we are number 5 or 6, depending how you count it, with or without debt or with or without private equity. It's not always clear and transparent, but I mean, more than 2 billion for sure in the last 2 years. I mean, if you compare with the best hubs in Europe, UK 12, 14, Germany 5 to 6, but I mean, Switzerland is a small country, with 10 times smaller than Germany, so we can be very happy behind Israel and France, but we are the next one, very close to Sweden. And it's a robust ecosystem, 3,000 startups. We have about 1,000 in Zurich, and of course growing. And more importantly, now we try, let's say, to follow the path of Israel, which is, I would say, about 10 years ahead, Tel Aviv for sure. And we see now a big numbers of scale-ups. Having new startups is fine. Having early stage startups and early stage investments is fine, but at the end of the day, what you want is the scale-ups. You want 100 million capital increase. You want the next IPOs. You want huge majority acquisition, billions values, etc. Because they are the companies, not because of the unicorn, who cares, but they are the companies who will make it happen to have 1,000 jobs or even more in the next 5 years. This is all about jobs at the end of the day, and jobs of high quality, of course. So we really try here in Zurich and in Switzerland, let's say, to really concentrate on deep tech, on what we can do, delivering high quality, delivering good security, stability at the core of Europe. Every city of Europe is within 2 hours. flying time, really in the middle of Europe, and Zurich is really developing fast. Since a few years, as you can see, a map of Switzerland, and Zurich, the one with a red spot beside Geneva and Lausanne and Basel, and Zurich is really developing as a deep tech hub. Clearly, robotics, drones, everything around it, cybersecurity too, is all really we can do in the city and in the country. Let me just go on this one, the last one, last but one. Yes, as I told you, talent is all we have in the country and not much more. So we really need to train and invest massively in research and in education. This is all we try to do. And of course, you need to transfer then everything to the startup ecosystem and then build scale-ups and future multi-unicorns. So it's clear. As you can see, some examples. German and Swiss company has raised last week or 2 weeks ago 650 million, which is great. We had Climeworks raising 100 million. So we really try slowly but surely to have several of them every year. This is all we need to have in the country to make it happen. We have about 50 to 70,000 people working only at the startups. So really the core of the ecosystem, and of course, fast growing. And yeah, we really try to grow quickly. We are not an early stage ecosystem anymore. I would say we are an early scale-up ecosystem. I said before, 10 years behind Tel Aviv or Berlin or London, incredible hubs. We try to be the next strong ecosystem in Europe and working, very important, with many other hubs. I don't believe startups will be only in one city in the future. This time is over. We've learned to work all around the world in hubs, and we will do our best to be one of these hubs worldwide with great startups going out of it for sustainability, trust, and so on, etc. Thank you very much, and happy to see you soon, maybe in a physical event, who knows?
Yes, thank you, Nicola. It's always great to hear about Switzerland. If you can leave your information on the chat so everyone can reach out to Digital Switzerland if they have any questions about your programs and about investing in Switzerland.
Thank you, and have all a great day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Yes. So our final stop in our world tour for this morning is Malta. So for Malta, our friends at TechMT will be presenting. The presenter will be Isaac Samut. He is the senior manager in business development at TechMT. Malta, its most impressive vertical in our report this year is in fintech. Yeah. So yes, hi Isaac.
Hi. Good morning.
Good morning. Great. Yes, so we're excited to hear more about the Malta ecosystem.
Definitely. Let me just share my PowerPoint. Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it, but it's not on full screen. Yes, it's full screen now. Okay, great. So my colleague Josh here will start the timer.
So first of all, just by way of introduction, as you rightly introduced, myself, I'm Isaac. I'm a senior manager at TechMT, and I'm responsible for the business development pillar within this public-private partnership entity. If I may, obviously, I have the responsibility of giving a very brief overview of the startup ecosystem here in Malta within 5 minutes. Quite an impossible endeavor, but I'll try my best. I'll start by giving an introduction to TechMT. So we're quite a young entity. Back in 2019, the government of Malta, together with the Chamber of Commerce, which basically represents all businesses and industries in Malta, decided or felt the need that there wasn't a sole agency or entity that represented the tech sector here in Malta. And that obviously gave rise to Tech.mt. We are based on 4 main pillars, and these 4 pillars are promotion, innovation, talent, and also assistance. And it is through these 4 channels that we try to support and promote the tech sector here in Malta. And we do that through a number of channels or a number of initiatives. So first of all, one of our main goals or ambitions is to continue attracting foreign direct investment to our country, and also in helping local startups or local businesses in exporting their services, their solutions to other jurisdictions within Europe, but also in the African continent, the Asia Pacific, and also the Middle East. Now, if I could very briefly give an overview of what are our major strong points, I think I could at least narrow it down to 3 major points. And that is the element of accessibility, attractiveness, and reliability. And it is through these 3 channels that we continue to attract more investment towards our shores. So not just because we have an accessible economic environment, but we also provide fiscal and tax incentives by which more companies and more startups can relocate towards Malta. Besides that, there's also an element of confidence that foreign and local investors believe in the business potential that Malta, Europe's smallest member state, provides to local and foreign startups. Besides that, there's also Malta's ranking that we do better than the EU average in terms of businesses or European SMEs choosing to relocate to Malta and internationalize their operations towards our shores. Like I said, one of our main goals is to attract foreign direct investment. And if I just had to give you a snapshot of 2020, Malta was able to attract a total of 190 projects, leading to an investment of over 140 million. This investment has not only led to new avenues of investment, but also new opportunities for employment and even further growth. Now, if as Tech.mt, like I said, we reflect and we represent the technology sector, and it is, I think, one of the most vibrant sectors here in the Maltese Islands. Despite COVID, the technology sector has continued to grow, and over the past few years, it has experienced a lot of positive growth. Besides the growth, also in terms of productivity, we have also seen a very strong increase over the past decade, and this can be attributed towards our skilled workforce, our strong educational institutions, our strong infrastructure, and also the different incentives that Malta offers to potential foreign and local startups. Just very quickly, in terms of how we are perceived by credit rating agencies, there's a very positive sentiment and also a very stable outlook to how Malta is perceived. Also in terms of how our economic vision is perceived in the coming years, this again is very stable and positive in the years to come. I also take this opportunity that as Malta, we have a very long-term vision. We have just launched our economic vision for the coming 10 years, and we will also very shortly be launching our digital strategy this year in 2021. Now, again, from a technological and innovation perspective, Malta has been doing very well over the past few years. If we look at the Digital Economy and Society Index of last year, 2020, Malta ranked very highly and was ranked as the 5th EU country with the biggest advance in the digital economy. And we, as Tech.mt, something which I feel was very prestigious, we were highlighted by the index as sort of the major highlight of the Maltese ecosystem in 2020. This obviously fills us with pride, but also with sort of a higher drive to continue establishing ourselves as a European jurisdiction which continues to flourish. Again, not just the Digital Economy and Society Index, there are other indices and other reports which have also classified Malta as a very attractive jurisdiction. And just like StartupBlink has mentioned or referred to Malta as an attractive ecosystem for startups, we will continue to work on that front. Just also in conclusion, I'll go over some of the different incentives and initiatives that we offer. Like I said, we offer both tax incentives, also cash grants, and also support in research and development exercises. The four below initiatives just give you a very concise overview of the different investment schemes we offer, and some of them are very recent. What I can say and what I can vouch for is that we will continue to invest in the startup ecosystem here in Malta, which, whilst still young, I think offers a great opportunity and a very vibrant environment for Maltese startups. Finally, again, I tried in a very concise way to highlight the major factors of why local startups should continue and scale up, and also foreign startups be attracted to our ecosystem. So we have a very strong infrastructure, we rank very highly in terms of connectivity, a very strong network. We're also connected to different continents, considering our strategic location. So like I said, Africa, the Middle East, and the Asia Pacific, and also obviously Europe itself. We think we are in a very strategic position to be able to facilitate and even extend our network. And finally, we also are in a very good position to start business collaborations with both local and international partners. And over the past 2 years, Tech.MD has continued to widen its network, and we continue to invest in ensuring a highly skilled and talented workforce. Thank you. And I obviously applaud the report by StartupBlink, and I wish you the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you for sharing the Malta ecosystem. So everyone, you can see on your screen right now the contact details of Tech.MD. If you're interested to reach out and to know more about the ecosystem, feel free to contact them. Thank you again, Isaac, for joining us on our event today and being one of our partners for this year.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Okay, so thank you everyone for joining our event. That ends our world tour and also our presentation of our report for 2021. Again, we invite everyone to visit our new website, StartupBlink, at startupblink.com, wherein you'll be able to see our improved map and also the dashboards that Ellie showed you a while ago. And if you haven't yet, please sign up to our newsletter to get updates on our website, our features, and also on the report. Thank you everyone for joining us on the first session for this year. If you missed any part, or if you want to go back to any ecosystem pitches or on the key insights, you can do so on our YouTube channel. We have the recordings there. Thank you, everyone. I hope everyone has a great day or evening wherever you're in at the moment. We'll leave the chat, the call open for 5 minutes in case anyone wants to reach out via chat.